Good morning, stamping friends. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm always happy to share with you. I have my Baby It's Cold Outside shirt on. It is winter here in Arizona. However, before I started, I looked at the thermometer to see what the temperature really is because I had my fireplace on, I got my Christmas lights on, cozy in our house, and it's actually 75 degrees today. So, oh man, yeah, if it's under 80, I have long sleeve and long pants on. So I am just, I guess, an Arizona wimp when it comes to weather. I am going to share with you a non-Christmas card today. Can you believe it? We are getting back to basics here. And this card is going to be easy to mass produce because I know after the holidays, you're going to want to make this kind of card for maybe some of your thank yous or just keeping in touch with people. So let's get started with today's project. Today we are going to switch gears a little bit. I know I've done a lot of holiday type projects, but today we're kind of going to get back to some of our basics. We're going to make a thank you card because I know after the holidays we're all going to be kind of in thank you mode and be writing lots of thank yous for Christmas gifts that are exchanged. And so I thought, let's get a head start on this. So one of my favorite stamp sets is Biggest Wish because these are just kind of classic words and sayings and font. And so you can use this in so many different ways. And so this is what I chose for today. And my best friend during this card will be the Stamparatus because there's lots of reasons I love this gadget. First of all, when you're doing assembly line projects, it's nice that once your cardstock is cut, you can just repeatedly stamp and stamp and stamp, and it'll always be in the correct position. Once you get it lined up that first time, you're good to go for many, many cards. And then the other thing I like about it is, you know how sometimes when you stamp and it didn't ink all the areas, you have a second and third and fourth chance with this. So you can keep re-inking it and going over it again. So we're going to start by stamping. And I just took a 5 1/4 by 4 inch. This is basic white. It's not the thick, just the basic white. And we're going to put this up in the corner. And I'm going to use the 2 magnets because we want this to stay down in case I have to stamp again. I just made a little handle with painter's tape, and that way it's easier to pick up. And then we'll put one also on the bottom edge. Then what I like to do is put the stamp case underneath here. It gives you a level surface rather than inking it up at an angle. Sometimes you tend to get ink around here, but it's a little bit easier when you put a stamp case underneath it. All right, so now we're going to take Memento black ink and we're going to ink it up. And I'm going to be very careful because with this stamp, sometimes it's easy to get inside the letters where you don't want it. So I'm going to go easy on this and probably stamp a little lighter than I could, just because I know I have more than one try at this. So I'm just going to ink it. And I know that I'm going to do it again because you can see it's a little bit lighter in some areas. Make sure your ink pad is re-inked well. All right, let's do it one more time. And yep, that's a lot better. See how much darker it got that time? Now, before I came on, I lined these up so they're in the right spot. But for the first one, you're going to have to adjust where that goes, you know, so that it's lined up. And now let's do the hello. Now, I did do hello, friend. You could do thank you, but I'll show you why I need more space on the outside edges here. So again, I'll probably have to do this twice because I'd rather go lighter than darker. And that's pretty good, but I do want to go one more time. The O looks a little bit light. Also, I'm able to show you how it doesn't matter how many times you stamp it, it will still go in the correct position because it's already lined up. All right, that looks a lot better. It's very nice and bold and dark black. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, sometimes we have to let this dry a little bit. If you have a heat tool, you can heat set it, but you don't necessarily have to. It does dry pretty quick, but there's another part that we have to do anyway. So I'll set this aside and let that dry. And then the cardstock we're going to use is basic white thick. Now, when I make card bases out of white, I like to use the thick cardstock. It's a little bit heavier and it's more like our colored cardstock. So that's why I always choose this one. And this is 11 inches by 4 1/4. Then I scored in half on the long side at 5 1/2. And then we're just gonna, you can tell I already did this, fold and then make a nice crisp edge with your bone folder and set that aside for now. Now, you're gonna want your silicone mat with this because we are gonna do some gluing, and I think our multi-purpose liquid glue works best for this. And I'm gonna put this on right here, and we are gonna have kind of an ombre look. Now, these little pieces are let me think what size they are. They are 1/16 larger than 1/4 of an inch. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16 of an inch is what this is, by about, this one doesn't really matter, 3 1/4. You could make it 3. And the colors that I'm using are Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, Pool Party, and Coastal Cabana. I love those 3 together. All right, so let's take the first color. Well, actually, let's go at the bottom. We're gonna do Pool Party and just put some glue on here and line it with the bottom of the F. That's gonna be your guide. And just try to make it as straight as you can. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. I probably only needed 1 strip, but let's go like this. Just line that up. All right, now I like to take the top one because that way we know it'll be even when we put that middle one in. So just kind of line it up the same way. Line it up with the top of the F. So all your tops and bottoms are together. And same with on this side. This is the Bermuda Bay. And the last one, of course, is going to go right in between. Coastal Cabana. Go right here, and there's not much of a gap in between, but this way you can line them up so they're equal, just like that. And then let's do the same on the other side. Hello friend can also go for a thank you. I just did it very generic so that you could even make this into a birthday if you needed. And then make the same gap there. Now what we're gonna do is grab my paper snips and pull this off. You can see the glue that went over afterwards, but this wipes off so easy. That little silicone mat is very helpful. Now we're just gonna trim this off. And I might be getting a little bit of glue on my scissors, but that's all right. Wash those off. I think the best way to wash your scissors is with Goo Gone. That's what I use. All right, and then this side. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to die cut this, and we are, oh, isn't that pretty already? We are going to use the stitched rectangle dies, and the reason we're using that is because I want that little stitching, and I want the stitching in these little strips as well. I took this over to my die cutting machine, and what I did was I tried to center this. You can see I had it cocked over a little bit on one side, but it really doesn't matter because when you line it up in your Stampin' cut and emboss machine, you will be able to center it a little bit better. And the size of this is the one that's about 3.5 inches by almost 5 inches. All right, so I already die cut that. Just pull off the edges, and I probably should have let this dry a little bit more, but it will pull off nice and easy, and then just pop it out. And there's the front of the card. Isn't that nice? It's just very clean looking. Then what I did was I took basic black, and thanks to our chalk marker, I cut this. I know these are odd sizes, you guys, but I'm very OCD when it comes to sizes and borders. This is 3 9/16 by 4 7/8. Don't let those numbers scare you, because on our Stampin' Trimmer, it is down to the 16th inches. So, and I don't even have to flip it over. I can glue it right on top here. All right, so we are going to add our liquid glue on the back of here. And remember, the reason I like our liquid glue is because you can kind of shimmy it before it dries and is permanent, so you can make your borders you know, equal. All right, so there's the front of that. We're going to bring out the black that's in the writing. All right, now we're going to flip the whole thing over and add dimensionals, and for this one I think we need 6. When I have a full-size front on the card, I like to put one in the center here so that it doesn't kind of sag, and so that all the sides stick up away from the card. All right, now let's grab that white card base and imagine all the color combinations with the ombre look. All right, just center that in the card, and there we have it. There's our simple, clean, simple stamping card. hello friend, and then you can write your thank you or your just a hello or birthday. You could put a birthday sentiment inside. So there you have it. I would love to see different versions that you do. And remember to glue these on before you die cut it, because look at how that stitching is included there. Well, thank you friends so much for joining me, and I'm so glad that you visit my YouTube channel. And if there's any products that you see that caught your eye, if you could order from my Stampin' Up website, and the host code would be helpful. It's right here. And remember, if your order is over $35 or more and you use the host code, then you qualify for all of my Creative You projects. And this month, let's see, if you order by December 10th, you'll get in on the December projects. If you don't order by the 10th of December and say you ordered the 11th or after, you will just roll over to the next month and you'll still get the projects, but it will just be the next month's. I have to have a cutoff date somewhere in there where I'm cutting and stuffing and sending. So that's why I choose the 10th of the month. But either way, you'll still get the projects. You'll also get a free PDF so that you know how to assemble them. Well, thank you again. I am on YouTube Live on Tuesday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Arizona time. So thank you again for joining me. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.